your service, sir.
If you hang around those raiders, I want nothing to do with you.
Now that that's settled, did Miss Rucker have any other requests I could help with?
Well, not specifically asked, but...
Oh, go on, dear. You know I'm thrilled to help if I can.
Well, she did mention needing some help with something for the clinic.
Ah, I see. Certainly.
And Sophie's starting her donation drive today.
The lovely Miss Wagner's charitable efforts. Yes, I hadn't forgotten.
Oh, and Esme's got something going on in the kitchen she could use a hand with.
Well, I shall certainly see what I can do about that. I'm sure I can arrange some assistance in these matters.
I wish they'd tell us what all of those
Sorry,
construction
I'm not much
workers
for
are up to.
conversation.
Look at what
Allison
mess
talked
they're
my
making.
ear off.
Well, hello, darling. A pleasure to meet another guest of our fine establishment. I am Orlando, your host and management liaison. If you'll pardon me for just one moment. That will be all. Please give my regards to Ms. Rucker. If you are here for leisure, I regret to inform you that our regular resort activities are temporarily unavailable. However, if you are here for the refuge and the fine work of the lovely responders, I am delighted to welcome you on their behalf.
Nothing else.
Ah, perhaps you have not heard. The White Spring is now home to the refuge, a place of safety and care for all in need. The refuge is being run by the responders, individuals committed to the well-being of their fellows. They founded the refuge in response to new waves of refugees coming to Appalachia, people in great need of help. Food, medical care, clothing, a place to sleep. All of these are available for those who need them. Anyone in need of help, yes. You appear more well off than our usual guests, though, if I may say so. Less bedraggled than those poor souls. Armed. The refuge exists primarily to serve those who cannot help themselves. The starving, the sick, the homeless. There is a clinic, a kitchen, beds, recreational facilities, all manner of care to be found here. I'm so pleased to be able to assist in my own small way, of course. Of course, dear. The owners of the White Spring itself. The resort, hotel, golf course, all of it. Very much still alive, I assure you, though regrettably unable to oversee affairs in current circumstances. As such, now that we have new guests, they have sent me in their stead to take care of things as needed. I couldn't be more pleased to do so. A delicious opportunity to be of help and meet fascinating people such as yourself. Darling, I am entirely at your disposal.
I wish they'd tell us what all of those construction workers
As
are
I've
up to.
said, I am the management liaison for the White Spring. I oversee the facility itself and its robotic staff. In addition, on behalf of the management, I arrange for the provision of certain material aid to the responders. They still have substantial resources and generously offer to share them to support their noble efforts.
The White Springs decor is refined and decadent. Don't
No,
listen to
not by any
names.
prior arrangement. Perhaps you visited us before. I must apologize for the state you found it in, if so. Regular operation of the facilities had been stopped, of course, due to a lack of guests. Only the robotic staff remained. The responders, believing it abandoned, took up residence, a completely understandable occurrence, of course. with new and worthy occupants, the management felt it wholly appropriate that it find a new purpose, and sent me. Until such time as the world needs leisure resorts again, the White Spring is happy to support the refuge.
My chassis on the way in. How rude!
Darling, you must understand. A place like the White Spring had, indeed still has, very wealthy people behind it. As was always the case, the truly wealthy had advantages the common people, such as you and I, lack. As for the White Spring itself, the staff of top-of-the-line robotic servants, security, and maintenance allowed it to weather the worst.
That miscreant from Crater scratched my chassis on the way in. How rude!
Me? Have I beguiled you already, dear? I appreciate the flattery, of course. You must allow me to retain some mystery for now, though. I wouldn't want you to lose interest. Perhaps we can talk more some other time. We both have more important matters at the moment, I'm sure. Of course, dear. What can I do for you? What a wonderful thing for you to ask, darling. I knew there was something special about you from the moment I saw you. As it happens, the responders are looking for volunteers to assist them in a particular outreach effort. Those industrious wonders have repaired a vertibird to full working order and are using it to make contact with more distant settlements. They've made allies with people in Pittsburgh. The locals call it the Pit now, who seem to be in dire need of outside assistance. If you don't mind me saying so, you look like you can handle yourself. You might be just who they're looking for. Judging by what I've heard, it's an accurate one, sadly. Pittsburgh was bombed quite severely during the war. The poor individuals still living there have renamed it to better reflect its dreadful circumstances. They call themselves the Union. Something of a resistance movement, I understand, against more aggressive forces. One of their representatives is currently staying with us, a Mr. Skippy Rorich. Delightful man. Indeed, isn't that marvelous? They salvaged it and painstakingly repaired it. It's fully functional now. I was very pleased to be able to contribute to this effort in my own small way. If you wish to see it, it resides on the roof of the refuge between flights, along with its charming pilot, Ms. Lennox. Well, they'll be better able to explain the details, but I believe they're looking for fighters, actually. Their contacts in the pit are in something of a desperate situation, it seems, against a dangerous enemy. I hate the thought of you putting yourself in such danger, but it does appear to be for a good cause.
The White Springs decor is refined and decadent.
Oh, you're terribly brave, aren't you, dear? Imagine if we all had such courage. Now, darling, before anybody bundles you off, the first thing you should do is introduce yourself to some of the responders. I just so happen to know a few in need of more local assistance, and helping them will earn you the other thing you'll need. That other thing, of course, being the ultrasight battery cells, which fuel the vertibird. Ultracells, if you prefer.
The White Springs decor is refined and decadent.
Why, from me, of course. Rather, from the management via me, that is. When management heard the responders were restoring the vertibird, they wished to help. They provided the ultracells, and I suggested them to the responders as an alternative means of fueling the vertibird. Per management instructions, I distribute a quantity to certain individuals regularly. Management feels this encourages collective decision-making rather than stockpiling. I'm sure they'd be willing to part with them in exchange for your aid.
motherfuckers are up to. Look at what the
I
mess
could
they're
not
making.
possibly speak to your experience, dear. It sounds remarkable to make such discoveries. All I can tell you is that the management provides them for the refuge. Regrettably, that is as much as I know of the matter. I might wager that whoever was behind the ultracell you discovered likely shared similar contacts with management at some point, but who can say? My dear, you must understand, much as I would like to, my responsibilities do not permit me to do so. I am but a humble employee of the management, and I distribute their resources as instructed to the letter. I hope you will not begrudge me my loyalty. I find myself quite fond of you already. Our lovely Ms. Rucker is the closest thing to a leader the refuge has, though I believe she's less than comfortable with the title. You can find her in their headquarters, beyond the dining area. The darling chef, Miss Rousseau, needs some assistance in the kitchen, I hear. And Ms. Wagner, over in the common area, is looking for donations. I'm sure your generosity will be well rewarded. Wonderful, my dear. I'm certain you will be a tremendous help to them and the refuge. When you are finished with each of them, I recommend you speak with Mr. Skippy Rorich, the pit union representative. I imagine he'll want to discuss the situation in the pit with you before you embark. Do feel free to visit me at your leisure if you wish to chat. I have an office in the management wing. You can't miss it.
But Rucker wants us sober on the job. I think I heard a Protectron bark the other day. Am I going crazy?
Well, hello there, stranger. Pleased to meet you. I'm Sophie Wagner. Look around. The refuge. Quite a place, isn't it? I mean, sure, fancy pants golf club resort, that's nice, but I'm talking about the refuge. A haven for the lost, the dispossessed, the hungry, and unfortunate. A monument to our ability to have compassion for each other. Isn't it grand? Isn't it worth preserving, building, growing? Sort of. Well, I haven't seen you around before, so, glad to have you. But I wasn't trying to recruit you anyway. I'm actually more in the material support end of things. Scouting for volunteers isn't really my department.
Actual flavor.
Now that's what I'm talking about. People supporting each other. You got the right spirit.
Need anything?
Rucker's put me in charge of running a bit of a donation drive. Have you met Rucker? She's amazing, you should. Anyway, it might surprise you to know an operation like this is always churning through supplies. We work hard to keep things in stock, and that funny Orlando character does their best to help out as well, but we still have shortfalls. So here I am, asking generous folks such as yourself to help us fill in those gaps and keep the refuge running.
Make this place home for a lot of people. Yourself included.
I prefer to think of it as mutual aid. We're a community, pulling our collective resources so that nobody has to go without. Charity's more like the well-to-do buying a clean conscience by giving away their table scraps. And it's not just hanging around. I need to get the donations packed, stored, logged, the whole 9 yards. Rucker's got a real quartermaster's mindset. So you better believe she wants it all squared away properly.
These robots.
Let me check my notes. You would not believe how fast we've been going through our stash of steel scrap. It's been nuts. 50 units, if you have it, would go a long way. Yeah. The warm glow of providing aid to your fellow person. The joy of supporting a noble and worthwhile cause. Isn't that great? Okay, if that's not enough for you, Rucker's given the okay to dole out some of the ultrasight battery cells we've got to spare. We use them to power the vertibird on the roof. They use it to fly aid missions to places outside Appalachia. I got a feeling you might be helping out there. So I bet you'll find a use for these. Bunch of stuff you could scrap for it. Tools, fuel cans, utensils. Scavengers find that kind of thing all the time.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work.
That's okay. Who just carries that around in their pockets or whatever, right? I'll be here all day, though. If you want to come back, bring it by later. If you can, of course. You know where to find me. It'd really make my day if you did.
Sometimes these days get so long. I forget my...
You might not need it, but I guarantee somebody else does.
Maybe I come off a little too strong. No. Maybe.
Glad to see you've returned. Are you ready to donate? You do? Amazing. Thank you so much. This is going to be a big help.
There's no problem.
It just so happens I got a little something for you as a reward for your generosity. Rucker set aside some ultrasight battery cells I can spare you from the ones the White Spring management doles out. Fancy a vertibird trip? They're not much use for anything else, but I got a feeling you're gonna need them. See? Mutual aid. Everybody wins. Thanks so much for the help. Drop by again. If I know Rucker, I'll be looking for something new every day. Take care of yourself.
Those here taste amazing. So fresh, and only a few rats.
Hell
I
yes,
think we can make this place
Ellison.
home for a
What's
lot
your
of people.
excuse?
Yourself
You
included.
don't know. Well, seems like timing is one of your strong suits. Look, I can stitch up a gash with the best of them. But Appalachia, well, she can do a lot worse than cut us open. Got a lot of folks here with sickness we don't understand, and injuries we don't know how to treat. What we need more than anything is know-how. So I propose we trade what I got that I don't need for what you need that you don't got. I've heard you're looking ahead into the pit, and the only safe way out of Appalachia is that metal bird Lennox has perched up on the roof. And what keeps her in the air are those ultrasight cells Orlando keeps locked up. So, that's the deal. You bring back medical information that'll help me figure out how to help these folks, and I'll get you all the juice you need. Today you'll be going to school. What's left of it anyway. Can the responders count on you? Nice. Well, let's get to it then.
Morgantown.
Anything you're able to find, go ahead and bring it back to our lead
Glad you
medic.
chose to send me somewhere
I'll let her know to look for you.
not somewhere
Good luck out there. Hope you're here about the supplies I ordered. Wait. No, that's someone else.
My friends
It's
didn't want to
supposed to be
join up
tomorrow.
with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
sorry. Now's not a good time.
Check in with the medics if you're feeling under the weather. Rucker said you were helping us out. Hope you got some good news about those anatomy textbooks.
So this is a
These
place to
textbooks
bring
are heavier than I thought they'd be. I'll get these distributed to the other medics right away. I'll let Rucker know you came through for us. Best of luck out there. Thank you. You'd think with all that tinkering Skippy does that he'd have come up with something more medicinal.
Everything is too clean here. Gotta dirty it up a little.
If you hang around those raiders, I want nothing to do with you.
Bonjour! My name is Esme Rousseau, but most people around here know me as Chef Esme. We've had some representatives from Foundation and Crater come here seeking assistance with the recent influx of refugees. I thought that we could help them out by providing some food for their people. I've started a pot of venison and potato stew, one of my newest creations. Would you be able to help me finish it? How wonderful! I can't wait to whip up something delicious for everyone! The stew requires potatoes, venison, salt, black pepper, and carrots. The ingredients can be found in our storage area. Your job is to grab the ingredients and put them in before the stew burns. Super! Let's have you start by stirring the stew, which will help keep it from burning. Remember to continuously stir during the cooking process.
I was out scavenging for food earlier. I only got attacked by Scorch once.
Fantastique! Let's get the first of the ingredients and prepare them. You're looking for carrots, potatoes, and the pièce de résistance, the venison.
I could really use a drink, but Rucker wants us sober on the job.
This wanton robot tried to give me a haircut before running off.
We could always use an extra hand around here.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
Dash of this, a sprinkle of that. Perfection. This is smelling delicious. Let's add more flavor with some salt and pepper.
It's been
now.
sunny all week.
I love it here.
Potatoes here taste amazing. So fresh. And only a few rats.
Murder bird ain't the only thing running on empty around here.
Always make sure to boil your water before you drink it.
superbe!
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others? It feels like I've died.
Now that your stew is done, it is time to add your own special touch. A restorative element? How inspired! Delicious and useful. I am sure whoever you choose to give it to will be very appreciative. Here is your finished stew. Now, it is time to feed some of the hungry. I believe you can find the raider and settler representatives in the bar area. You must make a choice, since there is not enough to feed everyone, I'm afraid. I'll do my best to gather more ingredients so that we can cook again another time.
I think I need a vacation.
These refugees wouldn't last one day in the crater.
Are you at the refuge? We've got people going hungry, and too many mouths to feed at Foundation. That's some good soup. The people of Foundation will be both healthy and happy tonight, all thanks to you.
I could really use a drink. Rocker wants us sober on the job.
Ingenuity's our edge against fanatics. That, mass-produced grenades. Hey there! Don't think we met. I'm Skippy Rorich. Something I or the Union can do for you? The Union is a sort of a... I guess you might call us a confederation, or a resistance. People banding together for defense. See, there's a group in the pit. Calls themselves fanatics. All they care about is conquest. They want the whole pit for themselves. They roll into your area, you either join them, they force you to labor for them, or they kill you. And they're coming for everybody. The Union's the only thing standing between them and their total conquest of the pit. As much as we're able, anyway. What's a Skippy look like, huh? Call me Skip if you like that better, or whatever you want. Just don't call me Mr. Rorich. Never felt right, that. Took me weeks to get that Orlando character to stop doing it, at least to my face. That's right, looking for someone to help us take the fight to the fanatics. Surprised we got a taker, actually. You are interested, right? Hell, you've got raider gangs here, right? I've heard about your Blood Eagles. The fanatics are something like them, but more organized. Imagine every single raider gang you've ever heard got together and decided to make like Genghis Khan. Sweep over everything. Kill anyone who won't join, and put anyone too weak to fight into forced labor camps. Everything that's not theirs, they take. That's the fanatics. And be glad they're not here. Bad. Don't get me wrong. It's home, and I want us to keep it. But we got hit bad in the war, and we've never recovered. Lots of radiation. Some areas are badly toxic, with all the junk that got blasted into the air or spread around from the factories. People are sick a lot, from one thing or another, and food can be hard to come by. Hell, some of the city's still on fire, I think. But some of the factories survived, and we got them running. Gives us access to things you can't get anywhere else. Might even be able to rebuild, if it weren't for the fanatics. Because it's home, damn it. Mine, ours, all of us who were born and lived there before and after the bombs. Ain't that enough? If the fanatics are out of the picture, we can rebuild. Make something out of it again. It doesn't have to stay like it is. If that ain't enough for you, picture this. A horde of fanatics, hundreds, thousands strong, setting their sights here. Sound like something you want? The Union's back's against the wall. We're doing our best to hold off the fanatics. Keep them from taking everything. Occasionally, we win some small victories, but not a lot. Got a couple of situations back there right now where an extra hand might tip things in our favor, at least for now. I don't want to call it mercenary work, but I'm not gonna lie. You'll be going there to fight. Fantastic. Let me just get Rucker in here. It's her bird, after all. Thanks for coming by, Rucker. Looks like we got a volunteer to take a trip out to the pit.
We've met. Had a feeling you might be up for this when you came by earlier. Guess I was right.
Figured you should be involved, if we're gonna borrow your plane.
Don't let Lennox hear you call it a plane. She takes it personally. Anyway, sure thing. I guess you've already got all the Ultra cells you need. I know you've got mine. Sophie and Esme tell me you helped them out too, so I expect you got theirs as well.
Fair enough. What do you want to know? Well,
I can answer that, Skippy. First of all, we've got refugees here from the pit. People who've made it all the way down on foot or in caravans. And the best way to help that situation is to help people not need to flee the pit in the first place. Second, the Union's the best chance of stability the pit's got. The responders don't just want to triage in the world. We want to help it rebuild one day. We'll need allies to do that.
it doesn't hurt that we've got factories that can still make manufactured goods either.
No, it does not.
I prefer volunteers to suckers. I'm not running some kind of scam here.
The answer is no, by the way. We run some regular sorties, trade some supplies, carry messages. Our radios don't reach that far, so communication's either us or waiting for caravans.
All right. All set? Got everything? Well, we got two different locals I know are in need of help. Locals are what we call union groups that act independently. Local 42's in the industrial district. Hex, their leader, is struggling to keep her people alive and retake a foundry from the fanatics. We got another over in the trench working against a fanatic forced labor camp. Danilo is your contact there. Haven't heard from the other locals recently, but I'm sure we'll be hearing from them if they got trouble too. It's up to you who you want to help right now. Maybe you'll consider going back again later for the other. No can-do, sport. I'll go back one day, but right now, I'm more use here, rustling up support to send back there. I'm not young enough to be much use on the front lines anymore. Great. This means a lot to the Union. I'll make sure you're well rewarded for it. I might have some other things I need help with here in Appalachia, too. I'll let you know. Good luck up there. We're counting on you.
Here to lend a hand, or 'cause you need a hand? Either way, responders are here for you.
Nothing like the roar of these engines. Whoa, hey, now you look interesting. What's up? I'm Lennox. Fully fueled up, she'll get us there, no problem. Us and any friends you want to bring along. And back, in case you were worried about that. Unless someone hits us with an RPG or something. I'm like, 85% sure that won't happen. First place we checked out after we got the old girl working again. Far enough to prove her out, close enough for our fuel. The city's in bad shape. Real bad. Of course, I only saw it from the sky, mostly. I stay with the bird and leave the hiking to others. They only shot at us a little when we flew over, not too bad. Nothing she can't handle. We got a safe LZ now, so that shouldn't happen again. Probably. Yeah? Right on. About time we made another trip out there. I mean, me and my girl here. You haven't been, I guess. Rucka said somebody'd be coming by. Guess you're it. If you're all set, I'm ready when you are. Assuming you got the ultrasight battery cells for this beauty. I'm a miracle worker in the sky, but even I can't make a fly on willpower alone. Remember, anytime you want to take a trip, we're gonna need a full load of those ultrasight battery cells to power this beauty. If you need more, check with those busybodies downstairs you got this batch from. There's always something they need every day. I'll be here when you're ready to go.